YouTube above average code here, and Treyarch just made some pretty big changes to the two main ranked and CDL weapons here on Black Ops 6. And today I'm going to discuss why some of the changes are pretty surprising and how it may affect both of those aspects of gameplay. Now, diving right into the first part of the changes, guys, is the AIMS 85, the main assault rifle most of you are probably using already in ranked play. And the first thing you'll notice is the addition of some medium range damage, because believe it or not, the AIMS previously only had max damage range and minimum damage range, which means the AIMS was doing the same amount of damage at 1-0 to, I believe it was 50.8 range, and then past that, it would just drop off. So now you have the addition of medium range, which most weapons have, and this range is 15.3 to 50.8, right? So you'll be doing 22 damage value at that range. The max damage range was actually decreased to add this 0 to 15.3 meters, right? So now the damage that you were doing up to 50 meters on the AIMS, you are actually only doing up to 15.2 meters, which is not a very big distance, and you only see one damage drop-off value from the 15.3 to the 50.8, which is that medium range addition. And then the max range, guys, actually goes down to 19. Anything past 50.8, which this actually stays the same. So your really long range gunfights past 50 meters exactly should feel about the same. However, your close to medium range gunfights will feel a lot different, and I definitely see this as a bit of a nerf, and it makes it even harder to fight with jackals if you are trying to maneuver the map and you get caught with one at close range, which the jackal actually got a pretty big buff, which is what we're going to get into in a second here, guys. However, the headshot multiplier has been increased from 1.2 or 1.12 to a 1.2 value. So the headshot multiplier, you will be rewarded a bit more for hitting those headshots. Overall, I will say this change kind of surprised me, because I definitely see this as a bit of a nerf and them also trying to make it a bit more of a precision weapon, which makes sense. The thing is an absolute laser beam with probably the least recoil I have ever seen in a ranked assault rifle, but making it worse, I'd say, at that medium range level kind of surprises me, because the gun does feel a little bit bullet spongy at times if you are not hitting those headshots. So to lower that damage value at 22 from 15.3 meters to 50.8 meters did surprise me a little bit, but again, the headshot multiplier, I think, balances this out a little bit, where if you are a very accurate shooter and you generally aim pretty high with good centering, you might not even notice this change and actually be rewarded with some faster kills if you are actually hitting those headshots. Now, jumping into the Jackal PDW, which overall I'd say got a pretty good buff, even though it was already a really good weapon here. Now, starting off at the top, we'll start with the max damage range, which actually got a 1 damage value decrease from 27 to 26. However, the range was increased to 17.1. So your closest range of damage you're getting with the Jackal will actually be a hair lower, so it may take you a little bit longer to kill these enemies. However, the range was increased. So now you're doing this max damage at a longer range, being 17.1. And then the Jackal actually has 2 levels of medium range damage. Medium range 1 is past that 7.2 to 22.2. And you actually see a damage increase of 2 values to 22. So from 26 damage, you go to 22. So that medium range 1, you're actually doing more damage, and the range was increased. And then the medium range 2, you're doing the same damage of 17, but that range was also increased. So although the closest range, you're doing a hair less damage, at those medium ranges, the gun is not only doing more damage than it was, but the ranges were actually pushed back to longer and further away, which is going to make this gun even better at fighting against the AIMS on some of these closer quarters maps, like Hacienda being a perfect example, Skyline, or even Vault, guys, where you can get caught up in these fights having the AIMS versus the Jackal. However, the minimum damage range actually stayed the same, so you're still only doing 15 damage on anything past 32.4 meters. Now, my biggest thing with the Jackal is not necessarily that these changes are bad, and I will open up by saying I have not played these changes yet, guys. I'm going to be diving in on stream here in a little bit. I'm recording this video before I actually get into the gameplay post-update, but the Jackal was already really good. The thing is a movement machine. You can strafe so fast with it, and it just does so much damage. And obviously, it's supposed to fry at close range and even a little bit medium range, but it was already doing that, and now I feel like it should, for face value off of these damage adjustments, it should be even better. And then to see the aims kind of getting adjusted to have that medium range tier, I'm kind of impressed here, and I think they're trying to bridge the gap, because I do feel like this game can be very AR heavy with the way some of these are. That's specifically why a lot of the pros GA'd so many of the assault rifles, and we ended up with the aims, because although the aims is a laser beam, it is a bit bullet spongy at times, which I already mentioned. So they want you to be rewarded for precision to be getting these kills, because it's harder to hold your aim and hit more bullets as opposed to a gun that just two taps you and you're dead at 50 meters plus. Now, the Jackal, however, if you're fast and you're an omni movement king, the Jackal was already working great for you, and now I think it should be working even better. And again, I feel like they're trying to bridge that gap between the SMG and the AR, but I'd rather see them go the other way with it. I would rather see them expand that gap and try to maybe get a third meta weapon in. I'm still missing the Maddox from way back on Black Ops 4 when we actually had the 3-gun meta, and that would just be really cool to see. But instead, it feels like they just want everybody running Jackals on the close range maps and everybody running the aims on the longer range maps, which if you play fast, again, I think the Jackal's going to work for you all the time now. Like, I know I like to switch my gun on Skyline, like for the P3 longer range gunfights and the P1 longer range gunfights playing up top. But now you might not even have to do that, because a lot of it is medium range, and you may still see these values kind of frying for the Jackal. Now, talking a little bit about the CDL, which doesn't necessarily affect me, but we might see some conversations on perhaps attachments or something being removed, because again, the Jackal is insane, not only with the damage, but with the movement at close range, guys. The thing absolutely fries, and I remember back in Cold War with the AK-74U, I believe it was, the thing was a little too crazy, and the ARs were definitely struggling a little bit, so they banned a bunch of attachments, and then they banned attachments on the assault rifle, and went back and forth here. And the CDL, although I love it, I love the pros, they can be a little cringe with the things that get GA'd out, so it'll be interesting to see how this possibly affects scrims and what conversations are had. I'd hate to see a weapon switch already, but frankly, I think anything can happen with the CDL at this point. But guys, I want to discuss a little bit about the changes that were made to these two new ranked weapons. They made a ton of other adjustments in this update. I just think these are the ones that all the ranked homies here on the channel and CDL lovers are going to see the most effect from. So I just want to talk about these two guns for now. But yeah, guys, subscribe to the channel. A lot of Black Ops 6 content lately. I'm going to be mixing Halo Infinite in again soon, hopefully on the streams, because I've had the itch to play lately. There just hasn't been much content to be made around it. So guys, hit that sub button, leave a like, leave a comment. What guns are you using in ranked? Are you using something, dare I say, off meta, and this doesn't even affect you? Please let me know. And of course, guys, channel memberships and super thanks. Please don't feel like you have to, but it helps me out a lot as a content creator. But alrighty, guys, thank you for watching the video. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next one.